Welcome back to the 2022 Boys State Tournament. It is time for the third place game between Ann Arbor Skyline and Rockford. Both teams had a bit of a rough time in the semifinals, but an opportunity to finish their season on a high note here. Skyline falling to Hudsonville in this pool last night. We didn't get to see that game. Rockford falling to Pioneer last night. I think the big question mark for Rockford is how do they respond to what they went through last night, see how they're going to be the last time out together.
Yeah, how do they bounce back, after that game against Pioneer? I think a bit of a surprise to us and to the crowd for their performance in that game. But I think they have a really good opportunity in this game. Skyline's got a really solid line of guys, a good goalie, but I think depending on how the first few minutes of this game go, we're kind of see who's on and who's kind of ready to try to take this third place finish.
Just about set for action here. Rockford in the light caps, Skyline the dark. Down to our left, that's Will Cheney to our left on the sprint. Ben Deininger just beneath us to our right. The officials for this game are Matt Latham and John Jess. Goal judges are Matt Weber and John Caterberg. False start here on Skyline at a
body, but he just does such a good job kind of getting into the space.
Cheney leans back and going to be an offensive on Cheney down there in center, and it was that flying left elbow that came in.
Yeah, in the last game, in the Jenison game, there was a lot of offensives in the middle on both sides of the pool. So we've seen that movie a few times recently.
Up top, Edlund. Hard defense. Good play by Wagon to pop it away. Wagon's on a breakaway. Rolling that Wagon right down the middle. Trying to get the ball in hand. He does one-on-one with the goalie. Wagon shoots and scores. We're tied at 1.
I really like Ian Root coming out there a little bit and kind of getting his hands up and getting as big as he can, but Wagon, great move, kind of goes over to the side and skips it in.
5 minutes and 8 to go in the first. Tied at 1, Rockford and Skyline for third place. Both teams improving upon their finish. Improving upon their finish from last year. I have that correct? Skyline last year was 5th, yes. So both of these teams will be higher than they were a year ago. Here's McKelvey into a scrum and center. And an exclusion on Wagon.
Looks like the double set was effective for Skyline. They got the kick out there on the left post. We're going to see as the ball gets thrown away a little bit.
Yeah, Skyline's going to get this thing under control here on the 6-on-5. Stevens with good effective press defense out there.
Rockford really pressing up top. They're going to force Skyline to make the long pass.
And they do the alley-oop into the middle, and looks like down there that's Evan McKelvey on the goal. Dunks it home on the pass to the goalpost.
Yeah, that was a great pass down there from the wing. Rockford pressing up top. It was effective as we saw Stevens getting the foul. The problem is that that's two guys that are not down on that down line, and so Skyline cashes it in down low on that one.
Danny Osterholzer on the helper. Reinsma up top with it, 4:34 to go in the first, 2-1 Skyline.
Rockford traditionally going to their center. Looks like we have a drive down, but they're kind of staying with Stevens there in the middle.
A lot of space in the middle of the pool. Stevens draws the ordinary foul.
I'd like to see Reinsman with a pump fake there to try to get the defender to go forward as Logan Stevens with the backhand beats Ann Root on that one.
Yeah, towards that goalpost it skips in, and now him and Ashley Howard talking about it. That's a great play by Stevens.
Yeah, especially after that unsuccessful first drop into him. I like that he put it past him and just immediately shoots again and scores.
McKelvey's got it up top. They're double setting again. They give it in there. And a ball under here, so it'll be Rockford ball.
I like the double set call by the Eagles. I think that the wings, though, for Skyline need to be a little bit closer so that they can take that extra breaststroke kick and keep a hand on him so he can score at will.
Staunton over the top foul that time. Rockford threw it to the end line.
Not sure if that was supposed to be a layout from Reinsma from the center.
Yeah, no clue. It baffled me. That's why I went silence there. I was like, wonder what he was like. It's easier to tell when you're close to the water level to tell what they're trying to do, but from that angle, no clue.
Again, Skyline going to the double set here.
Osterholzer just able to get back to the ball. Now Edlin's got a little room to shoot. He walks it in, shot blocks in his path, couple of pump fakes, gives it back to Staunton. Staunton is fouled in there.
Still got 7 seconds left on the shot clock.
Deininger's got room. Deininger cranks, shoots it off the goalpost.
It's a good job by Ben Seymour getting his arms around and corralling that pretty easily.
95 seconds to go in the first quarter. 3-2 Rockford into center. Stevens is snowed under that time by Sawyer Thompson, the freshman.
Oh, wow.
As well as Danny Osterholzer.
Yeah, Skyline a little slow there to get the ball. They get it back in transition. Looks like it's going to go back inside.
Here's Staunton. Staunton draws the foul. Kicked out here to Deininger. Deininger's got defense coming. Just kicks it out. Here's Thompson way outside.
It's a little bit of a 5-on-5 right now as Logan Stevens is cherry picking a little bit with his guy staying back.
Up top, here's Edlin. Couple of pump fakes. Takes the shot. Goalpost. Rebound came right to Staunton. Staunton trying to draw the foul. It's taken away.
Almost all of Skyline's shots from the outside have been to the right. A couple of them cross gauge, and Ben Seymour's made some good stops, but a couple on the post. I'd like to see him try to shoot left and experiment a little bit.
Deininger tried to go for the ball under, but he got too much of his man on the play. Up the middle of the pool, taken away here by Skyline. Edlin back to Root, 43 seconds on the clock.
Passes a little bit too far on that one.
Deininger on the outside, working on Reinsma. Deininger trying to get back to the ball. Deininger still has it somehow. Rolls over the top of him, and John Jets almost lost his feet there down on the opposite side.
Yeah, I like that. I like that call there. Deininger trying to turn, but since he was so high out of the water, as his off arm clearly kind of hooking the defender. Craig Peterman telling him to push the ball up as they got 18 seconds left on the clock in the quarter.
Here comes the defense. And Skyline can play for the last shot. It'll be Ian Root up the pool, gave it to Deininger. Deininger fouled way out there by Reinsma.
There's a drop on the that's going to be right there for Staunton.
Staunton rolled over, took the shot, and it goes over top. 4 seconds on the clock. Rockford can get a shot off and then get it the length of the pool. Here's Reinsma. Reinsma at the buzzer, and it is wide and short to the left and through 1 quarter of play. Rockford out to a 3-2 lead here in the third place game.
Yeah, it was an interesting first quarter, pretty even on both sides. Both teams getting some shot opportunities, some misses, top crossbar on the post, a few long passes. I think both teams need to tighten it up a little bit in terms of the passing.
Yeah, we mentioned briefly Sawyer Thompson, who was in the pool for a lot of that freshman in the state tournament in the third place game. That's hard to do.
Yeah, and that's also going to be great experience for him just moving forward. I mean, if he continues to keep improving and everything, that experience is so important. Kind of like we talked about yesterday with this Rockford team, is a pretty experienced, got a lot of upperclassmen.
Pioneer and Hudsonville, some of the key players getting into the water to warm up. Gabe Sanchez-Burks down to our right. Micah Bale, the lone Hudsonville player, down to our left. Expecting hopefully a good state championship game between these two teams. Pioneer was perfect yesterday in the second game after being tested heavily by Jenison in the first game. Hudsonville, we got reports back that maybe a little rusty to start the first game. Didn't seem to matter. The second game was told it was maybe not sloppy, but maybe not totally crisp.
Yeah.
Now, Hudsonville doesn't need to be perfect to win a state title with all that talent.
No, they definitely don't, but I really like kind of the Jenison game for Pioneer, kind of getting tested a little bit, didn't play super well, especially in that first half. Don Packard made some really good adjustments to kind of steamroll forward, and then, that second game, just really getting past Rockford and kind of picking them apart in terms of their offense. So I'm really interested to see how this final game goes. I think we're going to see a lot of really good water polo, and 20 seconds left here, getting this one back going.
3-2 Rockford through 1. Both teams with all 4 timeouts. Not many changes to the lineup here for either side. Skyline had a lot of luck going to Jack Staunton early.
I think Seymour actually did a pretty good job reading that Jack Staunton move that we were talking about, where he goes over his left shoulder to the left. I think he's done it about 4 times. On that last one, Seymour was ready for it. So I'm interested to see if he mixes it up a little bit.
I like it. The Skyline flag comes out, and you get a little bit of a chuckle from the Skyline guys down there. You know what I just noticed? It's shallow. It's 5 feet, right about at the goal line for Ian Root, who's already 6'5".
Yeah, that's really interesting. I think that might I don't know how tall Ben Seymour is, but when they switch sides, that might be a factor in this game.
It is an all-deep pool by rule.
Right.
So you cannot push off the bottom even if you can touch. It is illegal to do so.
Again, we're going to the Stevens here in the middle for Rockford. Looks like White Cliff didn't pop the ball on that one.
A little bit of a mix-up between Osterholzer and Reinsma. Now here's Deininger. Staunton will clear. Deininger ball in hand, back to Staunton. Staunton wide open, 2 easy. It's tied at 3.
That's a great play by Skyline. I really like the clear out there by Staunton. Kind of makes that defender pick whether he's going to guard Deininger or himself, and Jack Staunton cashing it in.
Deininger with the helper on that one. We are 18 seconds into the second quarter and already tied.
We're seeing in these games today, too, there's been a little bit more physicality, especially in transition. Not bad physicality, just a lot more grabbing and such, which I think is something that comes into play at the next level in terms of college. I think that it's a lot more physical, especially on every single possession as the ball gets turned over.
Staunton's got a one-on-one in center. He likes that matchup. Staunton turns. Now he's got to kick it out with the crash coming. Osterholzer, great play to get that one back out to the top. McKelvey.
That was a good job by Nate Cheney not letting Staunton do his signature step-out move.
Here's Deininger, near side. They reset. A sharp angle shot from the near side by the freshman. Sawyer Thompson definitely not short on confidence, I'll tell you that much. Maybe short on experience, but confidence not so much for this kid.
That's a good defensive possession for Rockford. I think that's the shot that they want from the wing there. Pretty easy for Seymour.
Stevens is battled with by Edlund, and Edlund wins it defensively. On the outside, here's McKelvey, throws it into center. Staunton kicks it back out, a little too hot to handle, and now having to chase that one off to the wall. I believe that's Evan McKelvey out there.
It's like Reinsma's dropping from the weak side. It looks like Osterholzer is going to be open there on the weak side.
And they're going to let him beat them instead of Jack Staunton. Here's Edlin. The shot skipped it home. 4-3 Skyline. I think maybe Seymour expected that ball to come up a little bit more, but it just kind of skipped across the water.
Yeah, Edlin's shot, I think, died a little bit on that skip. I think even if it wouldn't have died, it probably still would have gone in. Just a good shot. It really well placed. Seymour just a little late to that one.
Officials talking something over on the headsets here. They are mic'd up, and the director of officials is also on the microphone. So they can chat throughout the entirety of this tournament.
Rockford with the ball up here. Back to Reinsma.
Reinsma's got it, looking into center. That's Wagon down there. Wagon cranks, shoots it wide to the right. Him and Edlin got into a heck of a battle down there in center.
Edlin with his hips down a little bit. I'd like to see Wagon try to turn there. Edlin doing a good job staying on him.
Here's Staunton in center, turns, rolls over, shoots, and hits a kid from Pioneer warming up behind the net.
Same move again. I think he was looking a little bit over the cage on that one and just trying to rocket it into that top corner.
Up the pool, here's Wagon. Wagon down the middle. Reinsma's in center. Reinsma has a man on his back. Ordinary foul in there. He was inside, so he has to kick the ball back out. Reinsma's now right on the line. Now he's outside. Reinsma thought about shooting, plays it into center. Right at 2 meters, and Wyatt Cliff tried the shot, and he ran into Danny Osterholzer.
Yeah, that's great defense. I like Rockford cycling in some more guys into the middle besides just Stevens and Wagon, but some really great one-on-one defense there by Skyline.
Here's Edlin on the right side.
Oh.
A shot that goes in as Skyline has taken their largest lead of the game, 5-3. They lead it by 2.
Yeah, Stevens frustrated with himself on that one as he comes out. Rockford subbing in a couple guys. Good shot, and I think you need to challenge him a little bit more on that one on the perimeter.
4 minutes 34 to go here in the second as Skyline up 5-3. They trailed it 3-2 after 1, so a nice response here in the second quarter. Back up top, turned over to the wrong guy, Staunton. And now Deininger's got advantage. Deininger's got a breakaway. Deininger's got Wagon coming in pursuit. Deininger rolls over, gets his advantage back and buries it. Ben Deininger, 6'3".
Wow, Deininger kind of turning around and actually looking to see where the defender was. I'm not sure if he was just turning because of where the defender was or if he was actually looking to see kind of what was behind him. But either way, gets it in.
That's an interesting technical decision. It worked just fine.
It did. Wagon was coming in really hot from the right side there. I thought Deininger was going to keep it in front of him and just try to do some sort of a wet shot. And then if Wagon had come up from behind, probably would have been a 5-meter. But it doesn't matter at this point.
Hudsonville fan section already filed into our right here. To our left, mostly Skyline and Rockford. So we would expect to see Pioneer. There's some Pioneer purple actually mixed in right to our right with the Hudsonville fan section. I'm sure they're going to be good friends.
Yeah,
Ian Wurst is down there. He's a big shot. Mr. Chalmers as well.
Chalmers
What's
right
up,
there.
Guys?
Yeah, despite the state tournament being on the east side this year, Hudsonville always travels really well in terms of their fans. That's one thing that you can always expect from them. I think they're going to be a pretty loud state final here up in the stands.
Well, it was interesting. When I was a kid, we hosted states at Birmingham Seaholm one year, and Rockford was in the state championship game and brought 3 fan buses.
Wow.
From the west side.
That's great.
That's not a short drive.
No,
it's
not.
2.5, 2:40 drive from Rockford.
And I mean, at some of these schools, Rockford's got how many kids at their high school?
I have no idea. 1 billion, it seems
like?
Yeah,
it seems like, yeah. I mean, based on their bench over there, as we are still in a timeout here.
I want to say something about the Rockford bench.
Sure.
They have a player named Magic Johnson on their roster. He is not here, and I am upset with Craig.
Wasn't he your number 1 on your list last year?
On my all-name team?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. The kid's name is Magic Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, what more do you want?
The marketing possibilities. Like, just imagine. I want you to know, Magic Johnson, if you're out there, if you're listening, if anyone that knows Magic Johnson is listening, the MWPA will do everything we can to make you a star because your name is Magic Johnson, and it would be incredible social media content.
Interested to see what Rockford goes to here. Looks like it's going to be a Wagon drive-in. Looks like a little bit of a pick there on the weak side. Chino with it.
Taken away. Nice play by McKelvey. Wagon was in okay position to receive that pass, but he was underwater when the pass came. Now a risky pass up to Deininger. Deininger cuts his man off. Ahead for Staunton. Staunton gets back to it, shoots and scores in mid-stroke. And it's 7-3 Skyline as they're starting to run it up.
That's a tough break for Rockford, especially because they got pretty close to getting a really good opportunity there on that offensive end, but Skyline just immediately responds. Craig Peterman talking to Matt Latham there on the other side.
I think it's about McKelvey's defense in center, but I think he was just playing good defense in the right position.
I think he was playing good defense, and also the problem like that you mentioned was that Wagon's head was underwater. You really take away your offensive advantage, as a player when you put your head underwater.
If you're going to turn somebody, young kids that are watching this potentially, keep your head above water at all costs because you're going to lose the ball if you don't.
Same thing on the perimeter. Like right now, Chino's keeping his head up as there is a turnover there.
Yeah, that one that's good defense by McKelvey, but
Yep.
most of the time you keep your head up when you're trying to turn someone, you're going to be able to control the ball a little bit more easily.
Yep.
Up at the point, now into center, Staunton draws the exclusion in the middle. That is Cheney. Down the near side, turned right over to Rockford, and it's an easy play right back to the Rams.
I thought Skyline was going to consider calling the timeout there to reset. They were a little out of position, but Ashley Howard holds on to the timeout.
Yeah, at this point up 4, I think she feels pretty comfortable with where they're at right now. She'll use them if things start to get maybe a little haywire.
Yep. Rockford's completely capable. There's a lot of game left. Weapons everywhere, like we've talked about.
Here's Deininger, who swiped at that one hard. That's going to be an exclusion on Ben Deininger. I wonder if it's for the
John Just, I think, calling just the aggressive foul, maybe on the perimeter.
Interesting. Let's break that down. Wagon shot that ball. Sawyer Thompson thought he was excluded. Ben Deininger was actually excluded.
Mm-hmm.
Ben stayed in the play for a half beat. No 5-meter came as Thompson, somebody from the stands yelled, "Sawyer, you're still in." A lot of things happening there, very confusing all at once.
Yeah, I think Wagon needed to kind of attack the goal a little bit more and get closer as there was no defender in front of him.
McKelvey in center. How about that? Rolls over, puts it near post.
McKelvey with a couple really good plays for the Eagles, a couple defensive stops, takes the ball over there from Chino, and then gets down into the post and gets it by Seymour.
Rockford back to the bench here, 8-3 Skyline. 2:57 to go here in the first half. So Deininger, I wonder, was the exclusion for the over-aggressive foul or the backhand? A great stop reaction-wise by Ian Root, who grins up at the crowd. Was it for the over-aggressive foul or was it for turning and looking at the official after it?
Oh, that's interesting. I hadn't thought of that. That could be for what it was. He was wondering. He kind of pointed at himself. I think he was asking John Jess if he was the one that was being kicked out. I think there was some confusion with Skyline, like he talked about. Looks like there was a hold there in center.
Yep, that's McKelvey to the corner. That was actually pretty easy. He had both hands on the shoulders of Logan Stevens.
Really good opportunity for Rockford here. Need to really work the ball around and not take an early shot.
Reinsma, pump fakes, far side, looking for the catch and shoot. Didn't have it now. Pump fake shot. Great stop by Ian Root.
Yeah, Ian Root really locked on to Jacob Hopkins over there on that wing. I think he needed to go back up on top on that one.
Well, Root is an exceptional goaltender. When he's hot, he's just about unbeatable. I thought he was the best goalie in the state tournament last year.
Yeah, and he's still a junior too, so he's got another season to kind of work out those kinks a little bit and be more consistent.
I have a good story about him in a second. There's a lob shot from center. Not sure if that was partially blocked by Wagon, but Staunton gets it to go. It's 9-3 Skyline.
I think it might have been a little bit. That's really good awareness by Jack Staunton in terms of where he was in the pool. He's kind of on that left post, 2.5, 3 meters, a little bit far out. Seymour just a little bit too far out of the cage for that one. That's a really good offense.
I was talking to a Groves player I know who is a returner next year, and he goes, "Hey, is Skyline's goalie a junior?" And I said, "Yes." And he goes, "Oh," and walked away. Nothing else, just, oh.
Well, and Skyline just continuing their defensive aggressiveness here, and that's just aided by the stops that Root's been making in the cage.
Yeah, having a guy like him, having a guy like Jack Staunton back next year, Ben Edlund. There's a shot and a goal. Boy, Jack Staunton, he is heating up right now. It's 10-3 Skyline.
Staunton again going to that left side. It looks like there's going to be a timeout by Rockford. I think a wise one. Jack Staunton just really hard to read where he's going to go with that lob shot on the last possession. Back to kind of his bread and butter again. It really hard to tell kind of what he's going to do.
So while we're at the break here, Pioneer Hudsonville in the state championship game next. If you'd like to watch it, go to MichiganWaterPolo.com. Go to the main page. There's a little slider that goes through, and it shows our streaming links. Click on that and scroll down to the state championship game. It is a separate link from what you're watching right now. Each game is its own individual game link, so you can go back and watch it after on YouTube. Myself, Joey Sutherland, will be on the call for that one. Zach, we want to thank you very much for joining us here on the MWPA Network this weekend as you're going to finish this game up with Joey here after the half. But really appreciate you coming aboard, joining us, bringing us your expertise.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to be here. I love water polo, and I love talking about it. And it's just, even though I just graduated from Michigan State, played 3 years there, 4 years at East Lansing High School, it's nice to kind of stay involved with the game and, get to talk to all the viewers. So it's been really fun.
Minute 50 to go here in the half. Rockford down to 2 timeouts, a full and a 30. Skyline.
3-2 Was it 3-2 Skyline after the first?
It was 3-2 Rockford.
3-2 Rockford. So Rockford with no goals yet in this quarter. What do you think Rockford needs to do going into the half?
It starts with their defense, and they're letting Jack Staunton get into one-on-one situations too often. You got to bring the crash, create some turnovers, and then I think you can worry about the offense. I think right now Rockford's problem. Look at the scoreboard.
Sure.
Halftime, and there's 10 on the other team's board. They have to find a way to neutralize Jack Staunton. Now, easier said than done, because when Jack Staunton starts to feel it, there's not a lot of stopping him.
Right. Yeah, I think they've gone to the drop a couple times and forced some outside shots, a couple from the wing. I think that's what they need to kind of force Skyline to do and not get the ball into the middle of the pool. I'm interested to see what Rockford does here off of the timeout.
So we'll see. They've gone to the bench a little bit here.
Looks like Wagon starting kind of in front of Jack Staunton. Interesting here at the 3 spot. I'm interested to see if there's a pick going from center.
That's exactly what it is. And an easy switch called for. They read that play like a book. Now they're trying to ISO Wagon in the middle.
Looks like it should go back up top there to Nate Cheney. He's pretty open.
Back door for Reinsma. He couldn't get back to the ball. He puts it off the lane line. And now he's doing some talking.
Uh-oh.
And he's taking a minor act of misconduct. Joe Reinsma is headed to the corner, and he's got to take a little bit of a break here.
I like that call, the minor act of misconduct. We've seen that a few times this weekend. I think just kind of keeping the players in check and making sure they're being respectful to the officials especially and the other players on the other team.
Up top. Given back to the far side. Opportunity here for Andrew Shee. A shot up against the goalpost and stopped, and Seymour smartly throws that one out of coverage. That's not a bad turnover there by Seymour.
No, it's not. And the lefty shot actually from over there, it looks like we're going to get another one.
Goal post that time for McKelvey, and it is out of play. So the minor act of misconduct does nothing there. I should say, with the minor act of misconduct, if you are excluded and go into the corner, you do not have to be subbed out.
Gotcha.
If it happens after a goal or something, you have to be subbed out for about 30 seconds.
That's good clarification. I didn't actually realize that was a thing.
I forgot that as I said that.
Oh, it's like
Inside
Chino
move.
with a really nice turn.
That's a nice move to get inside. Kai Chino draws the 5-meter. And we'll see who's going to take this.
Looks like Wagon's going to take it.
He's been their primary 5-meter guy all season long, scored some big ones.
Really fast shot for him. Interested to see what he does here. Really good at getting his arms up. I'm interested to see if he tries to sneak it under his arm.
47 seconds on the clock here, 10-3, Skyline over Rockford. Wagon on the shot. They line up the goaltender and everything. Here's the shot, crossbar. Went upstairs, cross cage, and missed it.
Like I said, really hard, strong shot. Just kind of hits that almost in the corner of the goal and bounces out.
One-on-one for Staunton. Staunton leans back. The crash finally comes. And a ball under. Nice play by Staunton to create it, get the ball back.
Yeah, that's a much better crash by Rockford, but Skyline maintains possession on that one.
Up top, here's Edlin. Pump fake, down low. There's Shee.
Only a 4-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Rockford might get a last shot here.
Into center, taken away by Wagon from Staunton. Wagon's in some traffic. Going to kick it back. Gave it to Cheney. Cheney up the pool. Gave this one ahead to Hopkins.
It's like we got Stevens down there in the middle. The ball gets to him.
One-on-one with Shee. Good defense down there to get the foul.
Yeah, I think Stevens likes that matchup. I think it's going to go right back into him. There we go.
He goes, he turns the sweep, and the defense comes from Deininger. 3 seconds on the clock. Root at the buzzer. Oh, and a good stop that time by Seymour. Tried to give him the skip shot. We're done with the first half. Skyline 10, Rockford 3. We'll take a break here on the MWPA Network. We will bring it back with the second half next.
All right, sports fans, to the second half we go of the battle for third place. It is Skyline over Rockford, taking advantage of some of the home pool cooking, if you will. They're on top 10-3 over Rockford. And, you know, honestly, look at this one as, dare I say, a little bit of a surprise right now at the score of this game.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just kind of a tale of two quarters. The first quarter, I believe it was 3-2 Rockford. Rockford not scoring any goals in that second quarter. Some really good adjustments made by Ashley Hauer's squad, you know, in the quarter break. I think Skyline just kind of really pushing the ball, just going to Jack Staunton and the one-on-one and just really not having an answer for him. Rockford needs to do a better job crashing and kind of forcing that outside shot to Seymour.
You know, one of the things that if you're just joining us here on the MWPA YouTube network for this battle of third, fourth place here between Skyline and Rockford, you might have missed out on a couple of the games earlier today. And I got to tell you, Zach, in my opinion, we've seen some great water polo today. First with Huron over Groves 12-10. And then Jenison with that 9-7 victory over Grand Haven.
Yeah, and it's just nice to see, especially even after the all-state teams were announced, and before this game, all the the juniors that are on these teams that are just going to come back. When I say next year, I mean in a few months in the fall, and if they play over the summer, are going to be even better. So it's going to be a really exciting, not only last couple games, but a really exciting fall coming up.
Boy, I tell you, that's a great point you just brought up. With boys water polo shifting back to the fall this coming school year, it is almost forcing kids that may have taken the summer off. If you don't play somewhere, or at worst just swim for your Club USA team, you're going to be behind the 8 ball when it comes to August.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a really high level of play from the start at the beginning of the boys team because of all of the opportunities on the club level around the state. You got Wolverine on the east side. You got Third Coast on the west side, GLA, Raptor in mid-Michigan. It looks like we're going to go with Rockford ball here.
Another violation was called on the Eagles on the start. That's the second one here today, I believe.
Skyline continuing with the really aggressive press on the outside.
Tries to get it down low, but just swarming defense leads to the turnover. Possession's going to go the other way. First time we'll see Skyline here in the second half, up 10-3.
It's Deininger up top with it right now.
Good patience with the ball we're seeing all game so far from Ann Arbor.
Skyline trying to get it to Staunton again. Nate Cheney doing a good job a little bit, not settling for the behind.
Up to the right side flat. Swings it all the way down low to the wing. 5 on the shot clock, 6:25 in the game clock. Forces the shot, but easily corralled there by Reinsma.
I was saying earlier, I think that's the shot that Rockford needs Skyline to take, that wing shot from over there. A decent shot there over there by Owen Torres, but we'd prefer that shot over Jack Staunton going to work in the middle.
And I do apologize, folks. I called as Reinsma there, but it looks like it's actually Seymour in the net right now for Rockford.
Reinsma on the bench currently in the field. He played a lot in the first half, made some good defensive plays.
Possession is going back to Skyline. They're with a 10-3 lead, going left to right on your screen. Thanks for joining us here on the YouTube network. We got one more game after this one. That's going to decide the Big Daddy, who's going to be our state champion.
Wagon just really pushing out as Deininger tries to turn again. That happened earlier in a different quarter. Deininger really getting up, almost a suit out, but the off-arm hooking number 8, Jacob Hopkins.
Nice stretch pass the other way. Golden opportunity here. Cheney gets inside 5, but then great defense by the Eagles.
I thought Cheney was, Will Cheney, I thought he was going to cut off his defender there and try to go toward the goal and be a threat, but he kind of went out a little bit. Yeah.
Skip shot easily defended there from Root, and possession's going to go back to the Eagles. 10-3 still our score, 5:30 to go here in the third quarter.
Looks like Skyline's got an advantage going down a little bit. Owen Torres again on the wing. Wagon picks him up.
Another ordinary foul, tries to get it down low to the hole set. They do, comes in with it, and finally crashes on late. It's going to be Seymour. Possession goes back to the Rams.
Rockford in this quarter already, not allowing Skyline to score, doing a much better job on the defensive end, kind of swarming a little bit in the middle, and not letting the ball just go into the middle of the pool for Skyline.
Ball under called on Skyline. Possession will stay with Rockford. But are you sacrificing offense for that extra defense?
I think a little bit, but the problem is that with 10 goals up on the board for Skyline, Rockford's got to take it one possession at a time and first focus on the defensive end, which is going to create offensive opportunities. Right here, we got Nate Cheney up top. Looks like he's going to shoot this one. He wants the foul.
And he's literally forced because he wasn't even in a position to fire one at the cage.
Dan Osterholzer with some good defense there up top, one-on-one on the perimeter.
Long stretch pass up the pool. They get it over to Deininger. Deininger wants to get it down to the hole set. He does. Late help comes, ordinary foul. Possession's going to stay with the Eagles. Tries to get a driver, but great defense.
Like Staunton's driving in back here for the Eagles.
Fires it all the way over to the weak side wing. Lob shot put up just a bit high, out of bounds, and possession will go back.
Again with that wing shot from Skyline, I think that's what Rockford wants. And, maybe we're going to see Rockford convert here on an offensive opportunity pretty soon.
Down to 4:30 to go here. Same score as it was at halftime, 10-3. Skyline on top. Ordinary foul, just about mid-pool. Now they fire it all the way up inside the attack zone.
Wyatt Cliff's got a one-on-one. Looks like Owen Torres recognized that. I think if you're Wagon, you got to pull that from up top.
Was that a design play there by Wyatt Cliff? Was he trying to almost swat that one into the cage?
I don't know. That's interesting. Actually, Rockford did do a play like that yesterday. Wyatt Cliff was not the one that executed that yesterday, but that could be. Not sure exactly.
2 whistles, but I think it was just the 2 referees at the same time. Nice save, though. And what do we got? Offensive foul, possessions going to the Rams.
Again, Rockford forcing that outside shot. I like it.
We're down to 3:53 to go, and another ordinary foul called on the Eagles. Rockford looking over the defense with it right now. It's Wagon.
Some drives happening in the middle there. The ball's still up top, though.
We're down to 16 seconds, and the ball's still on mid-pool or further out.
I think Rockford's just got to work the ball around the perimeter. But that also starts with guys on the perimeter opening up for the ball and making sure that they're the ones that are kind of getting in that good position.
Oosterholzer had it quickly, gets the shot off, pass, shoot, scores. Fired it down low, but no, before the shot, I missed it. Offensive foul was actually called on Deininger. No goal there.
That's the 3rd or 4th offensive foul on Deininger. Such good legs, staying up and maintaining control of that ball. But again, I think there was a little bit of a hook on that one.
Oh, a nifty pass there. Just gets over the defender, driving in, but gets cut off at the way to the goal. And then
it's like a turnover there for an offensive foul on Wagon, I believe, in the middle. It's like Nate Cheney is going to get that going the other way. I like the patience on that, not immediately making the pass, although it was a little bit short.
Wyatt Cliff has it, trying to turn his man. Nothing there.
Almost a 3-on-4 right now for Rockford as Will Cheney gets it.
Cheney fires it, but a nice read there by Ian Root. And it will be possession back to Skyline.
I think Cheney needed to set his legs a little bit under him. I think he kind of rushed that shot a little bit. I don't mind the offensive aggressiveness, but just kind of resetting yourself, I think, would be a good time to do that there.
I think he actually could have still walked it up a little more.
Yeah, I agree.
Coming down in. Oh, that's going to be a kick out. That's an easy one to call on Will Cheney. You hate to see it, though.
Yeah, put in a bad defensive spot there. Deininger is going to put it in.
Oh, that was one of those ones you're going to second-guess coach. Hauer called the timeout, but you could clearly see that it was about to be Deininger, and I would say that was at least a 75% chance that he was going to put the biscuit in the basket.
I think so too, but the thing is the last few possessions, Skyline not scoring in this quarter yet. They've not necessarily rushed the shot, but they just haven't found the best shot. So I think Howard's just trying to talk to him, trying to get some off-ball movement and try to just find the best shot, or whether that's in the first few seconds of the 6-on-5 or kind of the last 5 to 10 seconds.
Well, a real different from the pace. You could literally say we've seen the tale of two cities. The first quarter, it was even though Skyline actually at one point Rockford led 3-2, and then it was 8 straight goals for Skyline, and that happened midway through the second quarter to make it the 10-3 score, the same score we have right now. So it's been such a change from the shootout with firing the ball up, getting the one-on-ones, the isolations, and putting the ball into the back of the net. Now it is a very tight defensive play we're seeing.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, this is a 0-0 quarter right now in the third, as Skyline's going to go up on a 6-on-5. Credit to the Rockford defense. They're doing a much better job, especially containing the middle, because that's kind of where Skyline has been going. We're going to see what the Skyline's going to do here to try to capitalize. I'm interested to see if Rockford tries to leave early on this possession, maybe trying to get on the counter.
And you read my mind right there, Zach, because at some point in time, Craig Peterman is going to have to make a decision. We're going to have to switch offense for defense,
right,
if we want to get back in this game. 10-3 is the score. Let's see here what Skyline does with it.
It's like a shot clock malfunction there from the table.
Except I was looking at all 4 clocks. I can't see the one over here.
I think that was in the left corner down there from our perspective.
All right, well, we'll try this take 2. Here we go. Fires the ball up the pool. They get it over to Osterholzer.
Looks like Rockford's pressing up top. They're going to force Skyline to do the pass inside. It goes wide.
That was a great look there. Unfortunately, unable to capitalize on it with Staunton.
I think that was a good, I think that's what Ashley Howard wanted them to do, as Rockford traditionally does, press up top on the 6-on-5 defense, just not able to get it in on that one.
Rockford fires it in, gets it over to Cliff. Cliff at essentially the right side flat was starting to drive. Now he's going to give it off. Finds Chino. Chino right now uncontested, driving to the hole, tries to put his shoulder down, and here comes the defense. Ordinary foul, 9 seconds on the shot clock.
We were corrected that it's Chino, actually, before the game, just so you know.
Okay, thank you.
Looks like Skyline's going to leave a little bit early here on this possession. 3 seconds left.
And back they come the other way. Got an opportunity 4-on-3 if they continue to push it.
Osterholzer's got to clear out there. There we go, and he gets the ball. It's a little bit of a bad pass there.
Great read there by Wyatt Cliff, and that's going to be back to the Rams.
Rockford again keeping up the defensive intensity. Still with 1:30 left to go in this quarter. There's still time for them to get a goal or two.
And you almost think they got to get a goal or two going into the fourth. Backhand, what a save!
It's a great read by Ian Root, really getting up and that just hitting him square in the chest.
I actually like the defensive play there by Edlund as well. He forced him to no other shot but that.
Yeah, and Stevens has a solid backhand. I don't know if he scored in this game off of that, but that's a go-to for him, and unfortunately just can't do it.
Possession's going back to Rockford here. Straight up 1:01 to go here in the third. 10-3, same score still as halftime. No score here in the third quarter. Nice read, steal by the Eagles.
Stevens a little defeated there on that one.
Want to give the ball up. He's going to continue to swim it up. That's Edlund. Edlund inside 7, inside 6. Skip shot actually hits a player in the noodle.
Well, I believe Nate Cheney with the pressure from the side on that one. Logan Stevens is going to have an opportunity here, though.
Nice turn, shoot, scores!
Yeah, Stevens, despite getting the ball stolen from him a little bit, that more at fault of the guy passing the ball, kind of stays back and then gets the opportunity, kind of like we were talking about. Rockford sacrifices a little bit for the offense.
And for the first time here in the third quarter, a team has scored. It is Rockford finally finding a way to get the biscuit in the basket and make it a 6-goal game. 10-4, 32 seconds to go.
Ian Root thought about coming up there. I don't know if they were trying to run something or if he was asking. Looks like there's 1 second difference between the shot clock and game clock on this one.
All right, so they bring it up with a 6-goal lead. Rockford would love to stop this here, maybe even get the ball back. There's a long pass inside 2. It's a 50-50 ball, and it's going to end up going to Rockford, and they still have a little bit of time left. Oh, what do we got here? Ordinary foul called.
I like the tenacity of Ben Seymour to stay with that. He wasn't in a great spot. Looks like there's going to be a kick out.
They got to get it to somebody quick.
Get it back to
Stevens.
Stevens.
He's got to get it back. 3 seconds. They do. 2. He gets a shot up, and it's in as time expires. Oh, baby, another goal for Stevens has brought it back to a 5-goal game as time expires in the third. 10-5, Skyline over Rockford before we head to the fourth. Holy cow.
I think in the crowd here, I think there was a bit of a feeling that this game was over, but those last couple goals I think have kind of rested that doubt. I think, Stevens there in the middle getting a couple really good opportunities. Not that last shot going right under Ian Root's arm as he comes up big vertically with his arms out.
All right, so don't touch that dial just yet. I know people are anxiously awaiting what was scheduled to start at 1:45. I guarantee it's not going to start at 1:45. We're looking at 2 o'clock at the earliest right now would be the championship game, and that's one we are anticipating another battle, I should say, as Hudsonville will be making an opportunity to make it 4 straight if they're able to capture the crown here. But to do that, they got to beat a Pioneer team that you saw last night and is playing some very good water polo.
They are. I talked about earlier how I think that the Pioneer team that I saw versus Jenison in the first half versus the Pioneer team in the second half of the Jenison game and the entire 4 quarters of the Rockford game were just 2 completely different teams. I think they struggle a little bit. Maybe Harrison said because of the 3-week break partially, just getting the rust off a little bit and just playing some great water polo, weapons everywhere, can get up in the counter, can really match Hudsonville's anticipation and experience, and 2 great coaches. It should be a really good one.
there is no better job in the world, I got to say, than being able to broadcast these games, because not only is it awesome to be here when you're playing at a state championship level, but the intensity. And if you love the sport of water polo, you're seeing some spectacular water polo.
Yeah, Joe, you just described my situation perfectly. I mean, I just graduated from MSU, just concluded my, water polo career, and it's really nice to be able to kind of stay involved and watch some great water polo, not just from the stands, but can talk to you, all of you out there about the game.
And it is, as you bring that up, as the crowd start to get back into it, particularly the hometown Skyline crowd right now, that is something that I absolutely love about this. Is if there was, for all the negatives of COVID, the one positive has been the increase of streaming and the ability to present these games to people beyond just being here. And I love the fact that we're able to afford that to the fans of water polo in the state of Michigan.
Well, and that's just coupled with, the great job that the MWPA has done with all the social media and the revamping of the website. That's major credit to Harrison Watt, who's not on the broadcast yet. He will be on the state championship game as we start the fourth quarter here.
All right, this time the sprint's won by Skyline. Their lead is a nickel, 10-5, 6:55 to go in regulation. Interested to see how they're going to play moving forward. Are they still going to be aggressive trying to score, or mostly protect the ball and then get ready defensively?
Rockford just got to make sure they protect the middle there from Jack Staunton. It wasn't super effective there in that third quarter because of the great job defensively.
Lob shot put up, but it's a little bit too much arc. Out of bounds it goes, and possession will go to. All right, 10-5 Skyline. Possession going back the other way.
Still a 5-goal game here. 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Looks like Rockford wants this shot to go.
Oh, it hit the post, it hit the goalie, and it's going to be corralled and recovered by the Rams. That's a little bit of love and maybe some good, clean living there.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think that's the shot that Rockford wanted. And unfortunately, it almost bounced off of Seymour into the goal, but it didn't, and they're going to have an opportunity here right now. Nate Cheney going in.
Tried to get the driver, but just good defensive position there. And there's a double team, ball under. Possession's going to go back to Ann Arbor Skyline.
Rockford continually keeps kind of fumbling the ball a little bit on the inside, partially because I think they're picking it up from on top. But again, another good defensive play there by, I believe that was McKelvey.
It was. Yep. They get it down to the whole set. Too many people there, but somehow they're able to force the ball outside. Swings it over from one wing to the other, wants to shoot it. Lob shot put up, but it was read nicely there by Seymour. Possession back to Rockford.
That's some good ball movement by Skyline. That's something that they've kind of been lacking in this little bit of a drought they've been in. Just a little bit of a stronger shot, I think, and that would have been good.
Looking for a driver. Nobody there. Now they just have to wait, and unfortunately the clock is not in the favor of the Rams here. Down to 13 on the shot clock, 3:49 in the game clock. All the way down it comes.
Yeah, I agree. Rockford running out of time here. They need to get it into Stevens right here.
Isolation down low. Skip shot. Oh, baby. It looked like it fooled Root, but he was able to recover quickly and stop that from going in.
And that was very similar to the goal that Stevens scored going into the half. But Root there that time kind of gets his arm a little bit lower on the water and stops that.
Good defensive work down in the hole.
Christian Wagon's got to be careful with the way his arms are up.
Ordinary foul. There's a driver coming in, but the Rams crash quickly. Ordinary foul again called on Rockford.
I think that's got to be a dry pass right there to McKelvey, even because he's a lefty and he's driving in. Kind of more of a catch and shoot, maybe throwing a pump fake there. Because it was wet, the defense was able to get that. Looks like Craig Peterman's taking a 30-second timeout to set up.
And that was you talked about the play right now here, especially in the last couple minutes of this fourth quarter, of Wagon is picking up the intensity, because really, truthfully, at this point in time, you're down by 5, 3:16 to go. You got nothing to lose. You got to take some shots, even if you're in foul trouble.
Yeah, of course, and I think we talked about how both of these teams are improving on their finish from last year, but of course, you'd much rather have that third place finish than fourth place. So.
Yep, but right now, if you're fans of the Eagles of Skyline, 3:16 is going to seem like an eternity for Rockford. They're hoping to get one more goal quickly to make the last 3 minutes exciting.
Looks like Will Cheney being subbed in here at the last second. I'm interested to see. They're starting with Wagon and set with Ben Edlin behind. I'm interested to see if they do some sort of a pick again. They did a 3-6 pick earlier. Looks like they're doing a little bit of a cycle.
Boy, that was almost, it seemed like as long as a full timeout, not just a setup.
They had Wyatt Cliff open on the top. Oh.
An outside pass off that. I don't think that was the shot that Craig Peterman wanted them to choose.
I don't think so either. I think the ball was just kind of got stuck on that weak side of the pool. The play was happening on the other side, and just kind of an early shot there for the Rams.
Bringing the ball up the pool right now, 10-5, Dime Store, Skyline with the lead. Happy to milk the clock off here on the shot clock. They're down to 12 seconds here. Already heading back is at least one player for Rockford. And it's a turnover to the Rams, but they fire it back instead of being aggressive, forcing it down. Now they get it to the pool.
Will Cheney's going to have a little bit of an advantage here on the other side as Stevens goes to work.
But a fine save once again by Ian Root. He was able to track that one nicely and keep it out of the back of the net.
Yeah, and as we get down here, 2:15-ish left, it's starting to get down in terms of possessions. Ashley Hauer with the horn, thinking she's going to call the timeout at the end of the possession, maybe to set something up, spread the pool out maybe.
And then get your defense back. That's,
Yep.
That's what I like about that one. Lob shot put up, and I don't know that she wanted that with that much time left on the shot clock.
Maneet Patel on the bench over there, current MSU water polo player, confused. Looks like there's a kick out.
So the Rams with an opportunity here. This could be the one. Score or else here as they trail by a nickel. Minute 45 to go. Gets it over. Left side post. Wants to shoot. Fires and scores. Nice goal there. That's the third straight goal by Logan Stevens, the sophomore. And he's brought it to a 4-goal game. But unfortunately for the Rams faithful, there is only 103 seconds remaining in regulation.
I actually said yesterday, I think before Rockford's first game, which they played very well on against Huron, that I think Logan Stevens is actually one of their most key players. Yes, he is a sophomore. He's got some great post moves like we've seen. Got a good shot from the outside, really fast, good awareness. I think he's going to be a really key player here these next couple of years, especially this fall.
Now you can see the shift right now into keep away or the spread offense for Skyline. Not a complete one, more of a modified version. That goal means nothing. They have not scored in the second half, in fact.
They have not. And that's credit to the Rockford defense. Unfortunately, I think it might be too little too late.
They're going to let him. Oh, nope, he's just going to dump it. Minute 13 to go. Skyline up by 4.
And notice the clock does not start until the player puts the ball in play. When the dump happens, the clock does stop. Stevens still fighting down low. He's going to get an opportunity.
And he just off the mark lost his cap. There's a timeout with exactly 60 seconds remaining in regulation.
I think Stevens just wasn't sure where he was in the pool there. He thought he was a little more to the left, so that would go low right corner, but wide on that one.
And honestly, really truthfully, Zach, as he shot that one, that was just off the mark there. That was
yeah,
still
it was. That was
shot.
Very close.
So we're down to 60 seconds remaining from Skyline taking the third slot here. But let's put our focus on a couple things that are coming up. Obviously, everybody knows what the next game is. It'll be Ann Arbor Pioneer and Hudsonville, and what we're expecting to be another great water polo matchup here in the MWPA. But I also want to talk a little bit about Sunday in East Lansing. We've got the All-Star game taking place tomorrow. You got the two games, the girls at noon and the boys will be at 2 o'clock tomorrow at East Lansing Pool. And you talk about good polo. This is great team polo. Tomorrow you're going to see great individual player polo.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting kind of with that game being after the state tournament. You know, some people are going to be more happy about their finish than others in terms of their team, but I think it kind of takes the pressure off a little bit and just kind of allows the players to have fun and play some really good water polo. I really wish the All-Star game would have been a thing when I played. That would have been really fun.
Oh, me too. If there's any one thing that I'm very proud of in my tenure on the board for the MWPA, it's us introducing the All-Star game. But with that said, I got to tell you, I have been in the sport for over 32 years here, and I don't know if you will find another sport where the camaraderie between the players, not only on your own team, is as evident as it is in water polo.
Yeah, and I think that's partially just because of the way that we play club and kind of structure the off-season, and also kind of how swimming intersects with teams going against each other and swimming against each other. It's kind of an all-year-round affair, not for everyone, but in terms of the sport, I think as people become more involved, they kind of see that it's actually a very small and tight-knit community.
Oh, absolutely. Although it's not, I think it's actually less small than it used to be. I think while I'd still like to see more individual teams, we have a lot of co-op teams as we're back to live action here?
So this is actually very similar to what Rockford did against Grand Haven in the regional semifinal. They're putting Wagon in front of the goal. In that game, looks like Rockford's going to go underwater a little bit. They were trying to kind of steal the ball and then get a quick one for Wagon, but it's not going to work, unfortunately.
They are content to just milk the clock here down till about the 30-second mark.
It's interesting. I thought they were going to bring Seymour out too to kind of contest the whole offense, but I think they're worried about Skyline chucking it in the goal.
And now with just 7 seconds, 6 seconds, 5, 4, 3 seconds on the shot clock, they're just going to dump it down. It's officially a dump, and the shot clock actually has about 1 second differential between the shot and the game. Although you can expect Rockford is going to do their best and actually.
Craig Peterman's calling a timeout, but I think he told John Jesse, official on that side, that as soon as Skyline dumped the ball, that he wanted the timeout, so he didn't even blow the horn. I think it's just a setup, though. Yep. Rockford's last timeout.
No horn needed on that one when there's good communication, but at this point in time, folks, this game has been decided. Rockford, though, is going to give 100% right up until the final horn.
It's like a drive down there by Reinsma. A little bit of a double set there.
Backhand, what a save. Now, I say a great save by Ian Root, but the truth of the matter is that just hit him very hard in the chest.
That did. As the ball goes across for Skyline, it looks like that's going to wrap this one up.
Long pass over. The pressure continues to come. Gets it into the middle, final 10 seconds. Doesn't see the pressure coming. He'll fire it back one more time. It'll probably end up to the goalie. Nope, he's going to swim away. 3, 2, 1. That's all there is. There is no more. In third place in 2022, it will be Ann Arbor Skyline, the Eagles, with an impressive 10-6 victory over the Rockford Rams. Once again, tip your cap to both the Rams and the Eagles on a spectacular season, but in the final game of 2022 for these two teams, it's just a little bit too much of Skyline over Rockford in the victory.
Yeah, credit to Ashley Howard's and Craig Peterman's squads. They played a very back-and-forth game, even though it got a little bit out of hand in the second quarter. Rockford kind of brought it back. Ashley Howard's squad, I'm sure, a little bit disappointed that they're not in this final game, but a really tough matchup with Hudsonville in the semifinal.
I'm going to make one point before we wrap up this broadcast.
Sure.
Rockford won 3 of the 4 quarters. They were up 3-2. And then they didn't give up a goal in the second half. There was one lapse of a defensive lapse early in the second quarter.
I'd say about 8 defensive lapses on that one.
Well, it was bam, 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 bam.
Sure.
It was just tic-tac-toe. And I think as I was listening to you and Harrison, you kind of wondered if maybe after the third goal, you should have seen a timeout from Craig a little earlier. Again, Monday morning quarterbacking, easy to do from here. Take nothing away from either of those two teams. A great game.
Yeah, definitely. I really see where you're coming from on that one. As the fans for Hudsonville and Pioneer are going to start to file in here. Tournament on the east side this year, a little bit of an advantage for Pioneer, but Hudsonville, like I said, always travels really well with their section. Really looking forward to this next and final game in this season.
All right. Well, hey, Zach, it's been a privilege having you join us. We certainly appreciate it. Harrison and I will have the championship game coming up. You got to click onto the other link for that one. Once again, our final score here for the battle of third place. It is Skyline over Rockford, 10-6. We'll be back. Thank you, folks, for watching on the MWPA YouTube network.